Jason, give me an example. Somebody new who was on this movie, or someone you've had to hire for the first time.
George Clooney.
Well, George Clooney.
Sorry. Well, look.
I'm just thinking, like, what is that?
Let me talk about process. I guess I could talk about a fair amount of process on this one. Actually, do you want to talk about how we boarded and video boarded and all that stuff?
Sure. Yeah. What Jason's talking about is how we kind of arrive at how we're going to shoot something. Jason will have to spend time going to the locations, often by ourselves, and maybe we'll bring our AD with us, and we'll hire like a stand-in to come with us, and we'll just sit there with a digital camera and shoot either video clips or still photos using ourselves as the actors in these locations to kind of look for angles and kind of plan out, see what looks right. And we'll take those, and then once decided upon, Jason will hand those over to a storyboard artist and use those as kind of the boards, which we use as kind of the bones or the basis to work from. They frequently change our decisions when we get on the shoot day.
How far in advance of shooting would something like this happen? Would this be during a location scout, or?
It's after location scout usually.
So you've actually picked a location, but you haven't.
Yeah, usually when we've picked a location or we're between locations, we're trying to decide which is going to work for us. We'll do it. Like I remember we were looking at a couple different airports, and we did that during some early location scouts. We're trying to figure out which airport we want to shoot in. So let's go take some stills or some video and maybe even cut it together and see how it works.
Now, Dana, are you involved in any of these conversations with storyboards or with any of these shots?
No, okay. I normally don't get involved until they start shooting. Really.
Okay. I honestly try to keep it as separate as possible. I think there's a real magic to giving Dana raw footage, and I know every director and editor must work differently, but I found that I really want to see what Dana does, knowing nothing of what we're doing. Like, if the footage were just to arrive, at her desk, and she has to figure out what the hell I was thinking when she looks at all the clips, there's a certain magic. Because if Dana was part of the process from day one, and she knew, okay, I was cutting this to go here, shooting this to go here, and I had all these kind of specific instructions, and I was delivering instructions also through the script supervisor, and then I was calling. I would lose out on all these instincts that she has to do, whatever. So many times I've watched the first cut and go, oh yeah, and realize there's a completely different way to use the footage that's in fact better than whatever I intended.
I also find keeping an editor out of the loop a bit, like they don't know what a problem that actor was, or sort of like what happened on that day that made everything so bad.
Right.
And so they don't approach, sometimes
right.
we approach the footage
They're
with
unaware of
all
the
these
problems.
emotional baggage of things. And they don't see those things, which is a remarkable difference.
Look, editors by nature are people who want to be in dark caves and dark holes and separated from the rest of humanity. So to include them with humanity, I think is just a mistake from the beginning. That's just not their...
It would definitely be a little cultural shock.